So hi everybody, welcome to Spur of the Moment, where we discuss controversial topics in the horse industry. And today we're discussing nosebands. We got that question in from Kelly asking about how tight a noseband should be. So yeah.
Thanks for sending that question, Kelly. I think it's such a good question. There's so many different opinions on it. It's sometimes hard to explain how to adjust a noseband, so I think it's such a good question. We get asked it here all the time because we write English and Western, and I think it's so interesting that all Western bridles don't have a noseband, all English bridles have a noseband. Do you know why that is?
Well, theoretically, I know. Hey, everybody. Yeah, there's a lot that goes on in the horse industry where people say, why? Like, why would an English rider have a noseband and not a Western rider? And it does lead to a bigger discussion of how we train, how we ride, different styles, different physics, different biomechanics, causes and effects. So you'd have to really look at, first and foremost, what is the purpose?
Right.
And a lot of times people really don't even know why a noseband would be there. So the purpose, there's basically three energies that we work with all the time. It's in the physics of everything, not just horses: pushing energy, blocking energy, or drawing energy. And a noseband ideally is a form of a blocking energy. With horses, we're blocking movements we don't want all the time. So theoretically, the movement to block is the opening of the jaw. Now, we'd have to ask, why would we not want the jaw to be open? And again, this leads to the different discussions. So whether you ride English or Western, on the horse, the noseband is to prevent this, a gaping wide jaw. So the next question then would be, well, why would a horse have its jaw gaping wide? What causes that?
Right.
Is a noseband a fix for an English rider of something going wrong? Is it the horse doing something wrong? Is it the rider doing something wrong? Now, again, English or Western, we can see Western horses with quiet, closed mouths. We can also see Western horses with the gaping jaw.
Yeah.
So it leads to further questions, the difference in the riding styles. English riders are theoretically taught to hold the nose and prevent it from leading movements. So we're theoretically using blocking energy to prevent movements in the nose, whereas Western riders would lead the nose. So to answer questions about nosebands, English or Western, what riding style, what's the purpose? If you're an English rider and your horse is not gaping its jaw, you wouldn't need a noseband.
No.
If you're a Western rider who does have a horse gaping its jaw, maybe you don't need a noseband. Maybe we just need to look at what's causing the problem. Sometimes the problem of a gaping jaw is actually caused by the rider's hands. So people, please don't get righteous about nosebands are good or bad, right or wrong, English or Western. It all depends. Young horse in training, is this a proactive measure to block a horse from ever learning to gape its jaw? Then it can have a very short lifespan. Maybe when I start Western horses, I used to use a noseband for about the first 20 rides. That's it. Then I never need them again, like training wheels on a kid's bike.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we hope that as we dig deeper into these questions, we can get past righteous opinions, because so often righteous opinions are uninformed opinions, and just look deeper into situations.
Yeah.
The real thing to bring up about nosebands is that if you need to use one, if you feel you need to use one, how should it be adjusted?
Yeah. That's an interesting question. I know how I do it and what feels good, but sometimes I find it hard to explain to other people how I adjust, because for me there's not one straight answer, and we get asked that question a lot.
Yeah, and often it's the two fingers, right? What
Yeah.
people use.
Yeah.
as long as 2 fingers fit in between, it's good.
Yeah, so maybe you have a more clear answer for us that we can pass along to our students. That would be great.
Well, you know, again, I love the Dutch saying, in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. We've all heard the 2-finger rule. And a lot of people break that rule. But I like to look again deeper, apply a little more logic. I have clients, some really big people, men and women, their 2 fingers cover a lot more space than my wife Sophie's petite little fingers.
True.
Sophie's 2 fingers is only one of Martin Griff's fingers. Hi, Martin. So, no, not necessarily 2 fingers. The purpose of the noseband, think of like, or the adjustment of the noseband, think of like a belt on a pair of pants. And nobody gets righteous as to whether you're wearing a belt or not.
No.
And it has a purpose. And the purpose is to prevent your pants from falling down. So adjusting your belt around your waist, 1 notch too tight, and the energy is imposing in, it's squeezing you. So that would be pushing in against you and inhibiting. And people who bind nosebands too tight, there's all kinds of ethical and biomechanical physiological reasons why you never bind a noseband tight around the jaw. It's only to block it from opening a lot. They do have to be able to move their jaw and lick their lips and work. They have to. And they have to be able to salivate and they have to be able to breathe. But you block wide open gaping, assuming you're not the one causing it with bad aggressive hands. So that adjustment is getting it just like on a pair of pants. So I'll give you a different thing to look for. Go to where the noseband comes down on the side, and you should be able to comfortably get a pencil in there.
Interesting.
Everyone, yeah. Pencils don't vary a whole lot in thickness. That you could slide a pencil up and down the side of the cheek, no problem. But as it comes right to the vertical top, it can still get in there, but it's snug. That would give you the right adjustment where the horse has flexibility in its jaw, but you're blocking energy to prevent it from opening too wide. That would be getting the belt adjusted
That
just
makes
right.
a lot of sense. That's such a clear thing to use for our guests and students, I
Yeah,
think.
definitely.
Could be.
So I guess that answered most of the question. Thank you.
I hope it triggers a lot of new questions.
Yeah.
In my mind, I hope someone will ask some questions about distinctions in contact. You know, basically there's 3 types of hands out there. Somebody ask us more about contact. All right, is that
Interesting.
good for now?
Yeah,
I think we're
think
good.
so.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Chris.
everybody. Spur you later.